Welcome to the Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Hey! We are that wild and crazy group of Browns fans. We shared Lou's picture on social media earlier. Great photo there, Lou.
That's when I'm bulking.
Lots of mass gainer. It's a lot.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I loaded up on carbs.
Oh man. Well, welcome you guys. Welcome Steve. Welcome Sam. Welcome Noah. Welcome Lou. I'm John. We're part of the Fanatical Elfz crew where you can reach us or follow us and watch us right now. Hopefully you are starting to do that. We're on the X, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We can be heard on Apple, on Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, any of those spots that you listen to your favorite podcasts. I've been trying to find some other podcasts to listen to, and we're damn good. You know, we're pretty good over here at the Fanatical Elfz. We talk Browns, we talk Cleveland sports, and we're just happy that you've come along on the journey tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Noah, how you doing up there with the Cleveland Indians?
Oh, I'm living life.
Guards.
I just came back from Brewdog not too long ago, so I got to have a couple beverages, hang out with a college friend, and now we're here doing a show. So I'm in a good mood.
Cool.
I hope you guys are in a good mood and ready to talk some Browns.
Yep, I'm in a great mood.
Lou?
Fantastic mood. I was so happy that these extensions were done and all that talk about dysfunction and all that, it's gone. We're a stable organization. We're a good organization. It's showing on the field. It's showing in the front office, and I'm very happy.
We're going to come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, howdy doody.
Howdy. Welcome from Nashville. First day of CMA Fest downtown. 90,000 people a day will be showing up. The local authorities have told people to wear comfortable shoes, to hydrate, and to walk in groups. Three things that every person downtown is going to ignore religiously. They'll be in cowboy boots, they'll get drunk, and they'll just wander off.
Where do they wander
Right
to?
now, downtown Nashville is a plethora of cowboy hats, trucker hats, sundresses, and cowboy boots.
Hey, Noah, maybe you should run down there tonight.
Be there.
Not a country guy.
Okay.
Maybe Sam can,
Oh
yeah, I'll be
that's
there.
Nashville, Tennessee,
Sam?
man.
I'll walk there.
Sam, how
Like,
are
Oh,
you?
actually, it's not just country music. John Bon Jovi's bar opens on Saturday. So.
Oh,
I'll go for that.
I
Yeah.
think not there. You know,
Sam?
go ahead.
oh, sorry, Lou.
I'm,
No, I was
I'm
just gonna
doing
make a
pretty
point.
good. I'm doing extra good because I get to watch the Mavs in the finals. So
Mhm.
that's pretty fun.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
Got the game on down below right
Yep,
now.
Kyrie
So I'm
Irving.
with you, buddy.
Kyrie
Yeah,
Irving.
I'm watching the stream. But yeah, it's nice. It was really hot a few days ago, but it started to cool down a little bit. There's only been like 3 chances that the Lord is trying to flood the entire world again with how much rain we've gotten. But
Really?
it's raining so much. It's like every other day it's just rain and then sunlight and then rain. It's so annoying. But I haven't melted yet, so I'm happy.
Good.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
No,
And,
what
you
I was
know,
going to
we-
say, John,
Yeah,
was
Lou.
that when in Nashville, Tennessee, and in Texas, when they ask you for your ID, you got to show them your belt buckle. So
Oh,
that was just a joke.
I like it. I like it. By the way, Lou, I do want to give a shout out to Sherry. I don't know if she's
Oh,
watching.
Sherry, she could be. I
She,
didn't know. Yes, Browns
She,
fan.
you know, she's your counterpart there on the Friday
Mhm.
night edition, and
Mhm.
got to catch some of your show the other night, and had some good jokes in there. We won't get into all that tonight, but just
No, it's fine.
she's a nice counterpart that you can talk to on Friday night. So tune into his show. Noah has had his show on the last couple nights with the East Bank crew. He's got this
good
group
show.
of guys from the office they do some really good things, and talking a variety of Cleveland Brown stuff, Cleveland stuff. Kind of touch on the Caitlin Clark scenario stuff going on. Sam is doing his Browns breakdowns, And of course, we got Steve Gill there, who's always bringing it with the Dog Pound South happy
This guy.
campers. I love
Happy
the fact
Dog
that
Pound South
know,
campers.
we got so many guys here on the show, and we don't have Jarrell here tonight, or Rod Bloom, or who else am I forgetting? Is that the whole group right now?
That's the crew.
That's the crew. So Jarrell is selling his products. Noah's selling his apparel. So check that stuff out. I know, Steve, you were wearing one of Jarrell's hats. There you go. Yeah, you got one of those right there.
I got a whole box full of them.
Yeah, we sent one.
So
I got one.
Nice.
Sent one this.
I'm giving
Steve,
one to Sharon, one to Megan Donovan.
Yeah, I already. Now listen, I've given one to Steve. You're the guy who watches us a lot. Heimlich or whatever.
Steve Heimlich. Yeah. I saw him at the Top Dog tailgate. Yeah,
he's a very valuable fan. So thank you, Steve, for following us.
Yeah, absolutely. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have a guest on, Thorell from the My Dogs podcast. He's going to be joining me tomorrow night.
Okay.
Got a lot to talk about for this week. So.
Yeah. So let's get into this real quick here. Let's talk to Stefanski first. Lou, you started us off a little bit. You're very happy about that. Anything else you want to touch on as far as because you were talking on your show the other day just about, I think you used the word consistency or something like that.
Continuity, consistency, and stability. No more 1 year, 2 years with the same GM and coach and turning it over. I remember this when Andrew Berry was hired. They had the press conference in Berea on February 3rd, and everybody made the joke was they should have had it on Groundhog Day because it's doing the same thing over and over again. And glad it didn't happen that way. But yes, I'm very excited that. And keep in mind, I think Andrew Berry's, how old is he? Like 38?
Is he young? He's younger than Stefanski.
Yeah, Stefanski's like 42 and he's 38. This could be stability for another decade easily. So it's a really good thing, and it seems that they know what they're doing. So it's having competent people running the front office. It's people like there's I did an article about it because there's like a whole generation of Browns fans that are younger that really don't understand what it's like to expect this team to win like we did growing up. Like John and I, us old mothers, us old guys here, us grumpy old men.
That even falls into me at 23, man. Like I've only seen them win as of late. I think the 1 year that we lost to the Steelers or whatever, and then which I was like 3, and I only know that from history. And then the year we went 10-6 and didn't make the playoffs. So I'm with you on that 100%.
When the drive happened, they went 12-4 that year. I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I was in middle school when that happened. So I'm turning 51 in like 13 days. So that's just to give you an idea. So I've seen all that. I've seen it happen. So I'm really, really excited for what this team's be able to do, and includes with Barry too. But go ahead, guys. I don't want to.
No, Steve. Well, let's go. Let's run over to you, Steve, real quick. What are your thoughts? Just
not surprised. Glad it happened. I was getting tired of the fire the coach, fire the GM next year, fire the coach next year, fire the GM next year, fire the coach next year, fire the GM. I mean, it got to a point that it was ridiculous. I knew this was coming. Their agents also represent players, and they've been a little busy signing and re-signing, getting contracts for the players. It just so happened that it happened near the end of the last OTAs, and I love it. I'm a big Stefanski fan, and I'm a huge AB fan. So yeah, nice stability, as Jarrell would say, a good foundation.
Yes. Samuel.
Yeah. I think it's funny because Steve, you made a point. It was like Kevin Stefanski walked down his home stairs and missed a stair, and there were like 150 people who just teleported in and started saying fire him because everyone hated him for some reason. But then he was great, and everyone was like, oh yeah, best coach ever, let's make him coach of the year, let's just let him own the NFL, he's so great. And so I think this will kind of make some people a little quieter now. And Andrew Berry kind of deserved it. He's built a really, really good team around Watson, around Chubb, around Myles Garrett specifically. He's just done a good job, and I think it's totally deserved for everyone.
Love it. Noah.
Yeah, I mean, I can echo everybody and what they're saying. Very happy. I thought this would happen sooner, but to the point of these agents also representing players, it makes sense that it took until, June, what was it, 3rd or whatever, that the news officially broke. Yeah. I'm just really happy about the stability and everything that we have going on. And I really hope us as a fan base now can relax and stop talking about fire the GM, fire the coach, fire the GM, it'll never happen. I know. I see you shaking your guys' head. I agree with you. I just hope it's a prayer. I'm sending a prayer while we're live right now that it will happen.
Yeah,
so what happened? Okay, let's take. I mean, the worst case scenario is that this team goes out and for some reason they lay in a ginormous egg, and everything falls apart, and they end up going 4-13.
No, the team's too talented. That's not going to happen.
You're guaranteeing that, okay?
What do you? Yeah, okay. They're not a 4-win. This roster is not a 4-win team. That is not a 4. Look what we did last year. I mean, but go ahead. Hypothetically, we can go there.
Yeah, no, I just want to throw it out there. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate. Get.
If they disappoint this year and they don't perform as well as expected, you stick with the plan.
Okay.
Just say that. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, that's just
stability. That's the whole thing.
Even I mean, go ahead.
They went 11-6 with a 5th round rookie and PJ Walker.
Yeah,
as backups. And Joe Flacco was sitting on his couch in Delaware for the majority of the season, and who still had the ability to throw pick sixes. So he
did that really good.
The quarterback room is far superior than it was last year. And I think they finally got the right offensive coordinator for the franchise quarterback. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Stefanski's not calling plays.
I hope so.
I really hope so. That is my belief.
Yeah, I know it.
You know it.
I know that was your belief too. Sorry, Lou. I know that's your belief. We talked about it last week. I really hope so too. 100%. I think Stefanski can be a fantastic coach. I think he's shown being a fantastic coach. Let's give up that play calling and let you do your time management duties and, being the CEO of the Cleveland Browns.
He's grown into the role. He's grown into the role since 2020, I think. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, I don't see any of that. Like, I don't see the Stefanski going and things going south. There's just so many things. I mean, you think about the positive sides of things. Like, you've already touched on all these things. All of you have in your own shows, but adding the coach from Tennessee,
Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel is amazing. Just such a talent. You got a special teams guy, Bubba
Ventrone.
You got Jimmy Schwartz talking, baseball and his. And I think maybe Steve, did you write about this on how
I wrote about that? Yeah,
I love the whole thing with the changeup and the fastball, and now you're really working on certain types of pitches and how to tweak that. I thought that was really got me excited as a Browns fan that they're talking that way. They're kind of getting into that sort of like, how are we going to get this group from this point now where you got in the playoffs to a legitimate Super Bowl? Are they going to be there? I mean, Lou, you said earlier in the week that they could very well be in the Super Bowl. I think that's, every year we're always, but legitimately there's so many good things from the coaching staff, from the athletes that this team has this year. It's outside of the fact, the next conversation I want to talk about is Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Nick came on and he talked this week. And I don't know if you want to start with this graphic here, Lou, that you've got from Jack Duffin, who a lot of Browns fans watch. But Jack made a statement about Chubb and his the chances of him being there in week one. Now,
let me remove the comment. That comment.
Okay. All of us have. I can do that if you want.
I did it.
I can still.
Thanks, Bryce. Thank you for the comment, Bryce. Go ahead.
Wait a second. Did you take away? Oh, hold on a second. Did I remove that? It's still there. I don't see Steve.
I'm not here.
Steve's behind Steve's there. There you go. There you go.
There you go. Yep.
He's behind the other thing.
Okay, so
He's behind the banner.
We've all talked about this off air, and a lot of people are talking about it. We've endlessly talked about it coming into this show, that, you know, we discussed him going on the PUP list for the first 4 weeks, you know, and even listening to the whole Chubb interview and listening to him talk, I didn't get well, let me put it back up. The way, when I saw that text or the quote from Jack Duffin and his conversation, I was getting a little bit, okay, maybe this is going to happen. But then I went back and I listened to Nick Chubb himself, and I didn't get the feeling coming away from listening to Nick Chubb like he was preparing himself for week 1. It seemed like it's a work in progress. He's taking a day at a time. Obviously, you're not going to get a lot of words out of Nick, but I don't know. This is interesting to me because Jack Duffin, who a lot of people respect and read and pay attention to, and Lou, you've had him on your show, and we've know he's connected to a lot of people, Browns fans and analysts and things. This is just something that kind of surprised me. But I know, Steve, you talked a little bit about it off air and stuff. I just want to kind of get in your thoughts again. Let's start, Steve, with you on this. I just want to get your take. Do you think Jack Duffin, because Steve, you listen to Jack, you pay attention to what Jack says. I know you've talked about him before. So
yeah, I do.
Yeah. So is this just, you just think it's wrong? Like he doesn't, like this is.
Well, his reasoning is just slightly flawed. I know Jack is heavy into salaries, heavy into contracts, but sometimes you can let that blind you. Last year, he was all about the guys with the big guarantees or with guaranteed money would absolutely have the best chance of making the roster. And then the front office turns around and keeps players that don't have guarantees and cut players who do have guarantees. So he was kind of off base on that. And then he turns around and says, well, you know, dead money's not bad, but cutting guys with guaranteed creates more dead money. So he's a little conflicted on that. What he's looking at, and he posted the incentives for the yardage.
Yeah.
And I've seen all the incentives. I can't tell you what they are because I can't. I've been told I can't. So, and basically the other group of incentives includes games played and touchdowns.
Okay.
You know, that's where his 2.05 million in incentives are coming from.
Yeah.
And Jack's reasoning is to make the most money, he's got to play week 1. Well, I take the opposite. I think Nick Chubb signed his contract knowing that he might not be ready week 1, and he's given the team a break. So he is fine. If you listen to the interviews that he did,
yes,
he's fine with not making the money. He was in a bad place physically, and he said mentally.
Mentally, he did say that. Yeah,
he did say mentally
a couple times.
The team really supported him and helped him through that time. And you notice no beat writers when he said mentally wrote that, well, he's going to give up football. You know, like Deshaun Watson wasn't ready mentally, and all of a sudden Nick Chubb says it. Oh, he's fine. He's fine. So you got a little bit of a double standard going there. But Jack kind of relies too heavily on the player making the most money.
Yeah.
When maybe the player doesn't want to make the most money. The player signed his contract because he's grateful that the team hung with him. The fans love him, and he knows it.
Yes.
So, you know, I still say he's going on the PUP list.
One more to add to what you said, Steve, was he couldn't have gotten a deal like this anywhere else that he got with Cleveland.
No.
Right.
In his condition. So he had no choice.
I have yelled this from the Raptors. Only the Browns. He's more valuable to the Browns than he is to any other team, and the Browns can pay him more money than any other team, and that's what you got to go on. He signed this contract knowing he's going to get another contract in Cleveland, and everybody's going to be surprised about, you know, he's going to do the hometown discount. I know he took $9.9 million less than what he was supposed to get this year, and you know he's got all these nice little triggers in there, but you know he just wants to play, and you can hear that in his voice. everybody said I wouldn't play again. I'm going to prove them wrong.
Mhm.
So, if he's coming late in August and the doctors say, "Oh, you're just not quite there," he's going to be a little angry about it, but he's going to take what the team tells him, and he's going to work to come back, and he's going to go on the PUP list. I just can't see him having MCL and an ACL tear in the same knee, 2 surgeries, 3 weeks apart, and he's going to be ready week 1. I can't. Okay. Not even Batman can do that.
Lou, let's go to you, and then Noah and Sam.
Sure. What's up?
The same question. Just, I mean, your take on it. Do I
think he's going to play?
Yeah.
To add to it, I think it's an incentive contract. Even say like if he plays 13 games versus 17 games, he could still hit these incentives. He could, theoretically. Whether or not he'll be ready week 1, I think that's a stretch. I haven't heard anybody else say it, and this is the first time I heard it. So I was like, "Whoa!" So it surprised me, and I replied. I was like, "Hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right." But I'd want what's best for Nick Chubb. I'd want.
Well, and I just listening to Nick Chubb yesterday in that presser, and Noah, maybe you can, and Sam, the I don't know if either one of you watched or listened to it. I mean, he seemed he was positive, but how he talked about his teammates. I didn't like the questions, and I can't remember all the questions, but Mary Kay Cabot was just driving me nuts with a couple questions at the end. I forget the last one she asked him. It was so stupid. I'm like, Mary Kay, what the hell are you doing again? I mean, these questions are just boneheaded. I'm like, how does she get? I mean, I know she brings us all this stuff, but my God, sometimes these reporters, and her too, just ask stupid questions. I'm sorry, they're dumb. And these guys sit there and they have to, like Nick Chubb, has to answer these questions. So I don't know. I got off on that because I just don't like Mary Kay sometimes. And we love Nick Chubb, man. And it's just like having experience and seeing what he went through last year, and then for him to talk publicly about, like we just touched on, the mental side of things. It sounds like he was really down in the dumps.
It does.
Well, it was a devastating injury. Yeah.
Nick, Noah, where did you get to watch any of that or listen to him?
Yeah, I mean, he sounded very much like himself, the melancholy, keep it to himself. He went up and down, and as a player that played football, I've gone through my injuries and stuff. I had a 3-month ankle break that I couldn't do anything in terms of prepping for the next season, that kind of thing. So I get the pain. Obviously, he's a NFL athlete, and I peaked at D3 college football. That's neither here nor there. But I get what he's saying 100%. I get the mental battle you go through, because you go from being, at the tip top in your mind of what you can be and where you're trying to get, and then your knee gives out on you, whether it be because of a hit or because of how you planted your foot or whatever. I'm glad we as a team are doing things for players like this now, because I think it helps with bringing in free agents, even, 5, 10, 20 years down the line, however long this, front office conglomeration with Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, the Haslam's owning the team lasts. My thing with the Duffin tweet is, his speculation, I think, is just as valid as our speculation is of him going on the PUP list. The PUP list thing is, probably the most likely thing to happen here, but I don't think Chubb nor the Browns know for sure yet what is going to happen with Nick Chubb. So they're prepared for whatever is going to happen, hence the running back additions, that kind of thing. But to sit here and say, I know because of his contract, or I don't know because of the injury and what it all entailed and all of that, it's so hard because we don't know, and we're not these superhuman athletes that, Nicholas Jamal Chubb is at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sam, any final takes there with what you're hearing tonight about Nick Chubb and moving forward?
Really, I texted this. I attribute it to a Tommy John surgery for pitchers, because while obviously they're completely dissimilar, there's barely anything about them that are similar. the way you recover from one is quite the same, where you obviously just destroy your arm with a Tommy John surgery and or to need that, and then Nick Chubb destroyed his leg, and you need surgeries to repair it, and you have to go through all that processes. But if you watch a pitcher and how he recovers from Tommy John surgery, he'll throw a ball 30 times, 30 feet, and then for a whole week, and the next week he'll do it 50 feet 50 times, and then the next week he'll do it 50 feet, and then he'll progressively get more and more until he's at 90 feet 150 times, and then he'll go straight into the bullpen and eventually come back and maybe do AAA games, but whatever. That I feel like is what Nick Chubb is going to end up doing throughout training camp, and also just through personal training, where he's going to run very basic drills, maybe some just like normal stretching, just simple things, and then slowly through training camp, through the preseason, even just continue working up from maybe just some stretching to full-blown running with pads on or whatever. And then that will give us a much better idea, like in the middle, on if he's on pace or if he's behind or ahead, and that will give us a much better idea on when he is going to return and if he's going to stay, if he's going to miss a few weeks or if he's going to come back week 1.
Like it. We're going to pause here for a quick break. I know Lou's got to probably run here. I wanted to get Lou's final takes before he's got his own show coming up, so he's going to be talking more. So tune into him here in a minute. But thoughts? I mean, you got a show coming up tomorrow night too with a special guest. Anything else before you part?
No, I think it's positive that he's speaking to the media. I think it's positive that he's working his way back. I think he will be back eventually. Week 1 seems to be like a stretch to me, just my personal feelings. And I could see week 6, week 5, week 6, and they're going to work him in slowly and do running back by committee, and he'll lead that committee. Yeah. And I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be fine. And I think we'll have him ready to go for those last 8 games when we're going to need him the most. So that's
okay.
My final.
All right.
I'm gonna remove this.
All right. See you, Lou.
Guys, thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here in the Fanatical Elfz Show. We'll be right back here after these commercial breaks. Hey, we're back. Did you like those commercials?
I loved them.
Fast and furious. All righty. Let's talk anything else. So I know some of you guys have been talking on just different side notes here with the Brownies. We're getting some good pictures again of seeing some of these players. Who's our new Cedric Tillman catching footballs earlier this week or yesterday or today, looking stronger and more, physique building there. I thought that was good. Yeah, I mean our wide receiver room just seems like it's going to be good. And I guess what are, like, in your opinion, and any other thoughts you want to talk about here with the Brownies? It seems to me like where are the biggest weaknesses? Is it like tight end right now, and the linebacker position on defense, and any other thoughts you have? Let's start, Sam. We haven't heard a lot from you. You want to start what you've seen this week with the workouts and anything else you want to talk about with the Brownies?
Yeah, I feel like the Browns, they have weaknesses. Every football team does. Even the Chiefs, the Chiefs have a little bit of, they always have problems. You could say wide receiver. I'm still not perfectly, I know this isn't a Chiefs show, but the Chiefs have some problems with wide receiver. It's no guarantee. It didn't Rashee Rice get into a whole car problem? Wasn't it here in Dallas?
I think it might have been.
I'm pretty sure it was here in Dallas. So, they're dealing with stuff, and they're the best team in the league by far, really, if you think about it. And, tight end, who knows how they're going to do, but that's the Chiefs. We don't really care about them right now. But for the Browns, you could say linebacker, maybe, depending on how that does. You could say the secondary still, because sometimes the secondary is great. Sometimes it just kind of falls apart. but every team has weaknesses, and there's eventually you reach a point where you just can't do anything about it anymore. You've filled the max, like a road. Think of a road where even if you look at a road, there's still plenty of holes in it, but it's still super smooth and super flat and super nice to drive on. But there's still technically problems with it. I think we've reached that point where there's still technically, it's not like California rolls with giant, huge potholes.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna look at roads a totally different way now when I'm driving down one.
That would be the Steelers. Then again, if the Steelers were a road, it would just be one entire pothole. But
yeah, boo! Man, Sam, you're bringing it tonight with that whole mic thing. You're just feeling it.
But I'm bummed.
I think the Browns are doing well, though.
Noah?
Yeah, you think holes, you think, I'm still not completely convinced on what's going to happen with running back when Chubb is there or isn't there.
Yeah.
They've done their best to kind of fill that need, considering hopefully you get Chubb back week 5 or so, or whenever he comes back. I think middle linebacker is still kind of a weak spot here and there. Not middle linebacker in general, excuse me. Linebacker in general can still be kind of a weak spot. Who
did they bring in? Who are the two guys? They brought in a couple
Jordan Hicks and a former Steeler. Can't think of his name.
Oh, the guy
Devin
from the
Bush.
49ers. Yes.
Devin Bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not the 49ers, the Seahawks. But yeah, Seahawks. Hopefully we get the most out of those kind of players. I think both of those were kind of Andrew Berry, marquee signings, the guys that are like mid-tier that we're going to squeak every little ounce of Pro Bowl talent that's in there out of them. But we'll see, man. It's hard to kind of nitpick here. You could maybe say quarterback, I guess, if you're worried about what Deshaun is going to look like, because I know there's a lot of those fans out there. Personally, I'm not worried about it, but speaking for the fan base right now.
Well, who's in that? Wait, let's stop. I want to go back on. Okay. So Deshaun, because Deshaun is like, okay. So who are these fans that you're speaking of? Like in social media, like people are just still thinking that he's shot. He's going to be crap again.
I mean, you hear it. I feel like I don't know, maybe because I'm more boots on the ground here in Cleveland and I'm around, only Cleveland fans basically 24/7.
Yes.
You definitely hear the concerns for the injury and you hear the concerns that he's not going to go 100%. Maybe it's my cautious optimism that I've always had with the Cleveland Browns, where, I've been sold on a lot of things that I ended up being scammed on. Shout out some of those quarterbacks from like the early 2000s or whatever. Obviously, Deshaun Watson's not that guy. I just hear it a lot where there's, your injury problem or that he's not going to get back to his former self, even though we saw a lot of flashes, whether it be the Tennessee game or the second half of that Baltimore game.
So this is where I want to go. And maybe Steve, you want to elaborate on this part, especially with Deshaun, is we always talk, and I even have said this, we want Deshaun to go get back to his former self. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, this is like, 5, 6, 7 years later, and he's not going to be his former self. He's a veteran. He's going to be his new self. Like we're always wanting to go back in time to sort of like, we want him to look like he did in 2018 and 2019. And that's just not going to happen anymore because he's aged. He's getting older. I mean, we're not going back, like, we think about it like basketball with LeBron. I mean, LeBron is amazing. He's 40 years old or something, but you're not going to see the same sort of things you saw when he was 20 years old that you're seeing right now at 40. I just find it interesting. I just think, where are you? I mean, Steve, you've always thought, Deshaun is, you're expecting a good year from him, but do you don't expect him to be like, when we use the term like going back to himself, because like I know, like Noah, it's like that's what fans say. We want him to be his old self, and I'm bad at that.
Well, that's because Steady Eddie says that. He said it again the other day.
Oh, that's
Deshaun
right.
Watson looks like his old self. He looks like
that
Deshaun
doesn't help.
Watson. Look, if he looks like he did 4 years ago, I'll be perfectly happy. That was his best year statistically on an incredibly crappy team that ended up having Romeo Crennel as their head coach 2/3 of the season. So, look, Deshaun Watson will go as far as the new offense takes it. And if you watch the videos, you see a lot of pre-snap motion, which is good. So, I'm not really worried about him. As long as he's healthy, game one, I'd like to see him play a preseason game. If last year is any indication, if he's ready, he'll play game one and game three, because that's what he did last year. He started both those games.
Okay.
They never put the starters in when they scrimmage, and they're going to scrimmage the Vikings game 2. So you're not going to see any starters against the Vikings. But as long as he's ready to go, I'm happy. And I like Jameis Winston. I'm sorry, I've always liked Jameis Winston. Last time he started,
W's, man, eat the W's.
Eat the W's. I like it.
Last time he started for the Saints was 2021. He went 5-2 as the starter. He had 14 touchdowns and I think like 2 interceptions. So I don't get it why everybody is, they all talk about crab legs. Well, tough. That happened in college. You don't think there were things I did in high school and college I'm perfectly ashamed of, amazed that I did them. Let me just say that. And got away with it. Statute of limitations. But, I'm perfectly happy with Deshaun. Now, as for the Browns as a team, I'm crazy, but I'm a little concerned about the safety position. We saw what happened last year when we lost Delpit and Thornhill and Roddy McLeod. We had to trot out D'Anthony Bell and Ronnie Hickman, and C.J. Stroud picked them apart. I'm glad they brought in Brady Breeze. He has experience with the Titans, and Jim Schwartz knows him. Mike Vrabel knows him, so that's good. So, another interesting thing, they were practicing the new kickoff rule this week. I saw some video of it. They even had Cedric Tillman out getting kicks. And there were a lot of people flying around and a lot of people hitting the ground. They had some contact. So Bubba Ventrone is really preaching this new kickoff rule, which is good to see because it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this. The things you read about sound really positive about.
It's insane. But during the Super Bowl, there wasn't a return kick. It was all touchbacks. And anytime there's a rule change, it's because of what happened in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's just the way the league is.
Yeah.
The owners didn't pay all that money in those big suites to watch touchbacks.
Okay. Let me final thoughts on the evening. I know, Noah, you've got your show on. You're hitting that East Bank show now Mondays and Wednesdays. Is that kind of your target?
Typically, sometimes we'll hit Sunday. It kind of depends what's going on with Matt's schedule.
Is Matt
typically up?
He hasn't been on this week. Matt wasn't on this week.
He's on vacation right now, so I took it over with the Office Boys. Shout out John and Eric, not John, you John, the other John
I know.
On my show. We did that last week. But yeah, they took over. We did a holistic approach to everything with the Cleveland sports franchises and how we feel about them. And then we talked for a good 45 minutes about all the Caitlin Clark drama this week, as well as, we had to go a little fun after, some of those harder topics that we talked about. We talked about if we thought we could win the Masters if we started off on the green. So that was a fun end to the show.
Wait, if you started out on the green, I didn't catch that part of your show. So
yeah, so basically you're playing putt-putt at Augusta and trying to win the Masters, and if you think you have the confidence to do it or not. I said hell no. So did Eric. For some reason, John thought he was going 10 under par, but go check that episode out and you can see those.
I'll have to watch the end of that. Yes. Very good. Sam, how are you doing up there or down there in Dallas and your shows?
Terrible.
The Mavs are getting cooked.
Are they really?
Like 60-30. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
What's his name?
58-31.
Porzingis is back.
Yeah,
Porzingis is turning into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar right now.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's
I'm
insane,
sorry,
but
Sam. You're probably
it's
depressed.
fine.
Yeah.
It's an NBA series. There's like 3 more games. If we lose, we're fine. But I mean, the Rangers had to go through all this when they played the Astros, and we still won that. So, and won the whole World Series. So anyway, I think it'll be fun to see what the Browns can do. I think it's really interesting though, Nick Chubb. I think it's just interesting to see how you recover from an injury like that, because there was a whole, I get it was New York and it was Aaron Rodgers, but there was like a lot of hype around if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back from that injury or not. Like that was a whole genre of sports writing for a little while there was, is Aaron Rodgers going to come back? It's the Jets' fault he probably didn't. I don't think he was going to come back. I think it was more of just a media stunt. But I think it could have probably worked out if the Jets were actually competitive. But that's in the past. But it's just interesting to see how this works, because this is a very rare injury. You usually don't see a lot of NFL players have their almost all the tendons and muscles and bones in their knee just destroyed, and see them come back in a year. So it's just
that sounds very depressing when you put it that way.
Yeah, it's not, but it's true. I mean, didn't we think all of his tendons were tore, or all the big ones, the MCL, ACL, PCL?
By the way, did you hear Chubb in his response to the question about did the guy apologize to you? First he says no, but then he says, yeah, he came over right after and said sorry about what happened or whatever.
It's a Steelers player. Don't listen. He didn't say sorry. He probably said, haha. He probably laughed in his face, to be completely honest. But there's too many cameras. You couldn't get away with that. I think there's so many cameras. I mean, if there's one for Taylor Swift in every single Chiefs game, there's probably enough to find a player laughing at another one.
So is Taylor Swift going to show up at the softball game this weekend?
I didn't even think about
I think she might.
That's what I thought of immediately. I'm thinking she's going to show up in Cleveland this weekend, and everyone's going to be like, oh,
Have you guys ever been to that ballpark real quick? Because it's small. It's small. I mean, it's like single A baseball park for sure. I just went to a game not too long ago, real quick. I got to give them a shout out because I won a giveaway for a signed poster from them.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
But got to give them that shout out because I kept forgetting to do it on my show this week. What's up, Sam?
Sorry, I bet Taylor Swift would be pretty happy with it, but her security team would rather not ever exist than try and deal with that. I mean,
there is a private jet field not too far from there, and we all know how much she likes taking that private jet around. So
yeah, is the stadium big enough to land with a private jet inside? Because that's all that matters. She's not driving.
No chance.
Oh, then never. No, she's probably not coming if she can't land her private jet in the stadium. Because
there is a minor league park right next to it that she could land on, though. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, but I think her security team would have a nightmare trying to deal with all that in such a small stadium. But it's Taylor Swift, it's not Browns, so I don't really know.
All right. Steve, final thought.
Well, if you really want to know, you got to check her schedule. I mean, come on, her performance. Just go to her website and you can find out. Number two, Aaron Rodgers doing something to give big shout outs in the media. Shock face. But anyway, I'm looking. Come on. I'm looking forward to mandatory minicamp next week. I anticipate it's going to be 100% participation. I don't see anybody not being there unless it's
next week. When did they start? Monday?
Tuesdays through Thursday.
So right now they're just doing, these are voluntary workouts.
Yeah, these are all voluntary, and more players have been showing up. I saw Zadarius Smith this week was there, and Mo Hurst was there. I saw some defensive line stuff today. By the way, I love our new defensive line coach. This guy's fiery.
Okay.
If anybody has not seen the little YouTube production the Browns put on, Unleashed.
Okay.
This last one, it was all about Michael Hall, and they talked to talked to the D-line coach, and God, I wanted to run through a brick wall.
Running back coach too, Deuce
Staley is fantastic too.
I mean, he talked earlier this week, and I'm like, man, this is like you collectively, this team, coaches and athletes are just knocking it out of the park right now. I mean, I can't think of a time.
Even when Bubba talked.
I mean, Steve, honestly, and Noah, you're not, and Sam, you're a little bit younger, but I can't think of a time in Cleveland Browns history where we've had a collection of really good talent. I mean, we had Butch Davis here and some other coaches in the past.
We had Bill Belichick, and then the other guy that used to coach Alabama as the defensive line coach.
I'm going back to that. That's
pretty good. I mean,
yes.
There's a lot of drama there, to be fair.
Marty Schottenheim. Well, there was drama. That's right.
Marty had some guy named Bill Cowher doing the special teams. So they've had fiery guys.
But everything is so much more magnified because we're in this social media platform. We're talking to you guys on this podcast. So everyone is, got a say in it. We all have reactions to it. It's just really interesting just to see the whole thing. I'm excited. I mean, I know all of you are excited about what potentially could happen this season. So
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just happy
the Dallas game healthy.
Right. I'm just happy as a Cleveland fan right now that all three teams are playing really good sports front to back, regardless. Upset about the Cavs getting bounced. The Guardians lost today.
Your scale. I love how you rated the different teams. Steve and Sam, he had his colleagues rate the different teams. I don't know what kind of rubric you gave them.
It was off of our confidence level of where they're at right now. So the Cavs went low because we don't have a coach and we don't know what's going on in the roster. But 3 weeks time, it could be like a 9 because we signed a bunch of people, did a good draft, and have a coach.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting. It makes it a repeat topic. Surprise, surprise for anybody out there that listens to the East Bank Sports Show. But that topic will for sure come back again because that was a lot of fun for one episode.
It really was worth listening to. If you have a chance, tune into that. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a very good evening. Anybody have final words? Well, dang it. Sam, I'm sorry. The Mavericks. But
I'll live.
The good news is that they're going to come back to Dallas and they're going to roll over the Celtics. This is going to go to 7 games, maybe 6. Man, I don't like the Celtics.
Neither do I.
I mean, we're coming back. It's only a 23-point or 24-point deficit.
Well, you got Kyrie and the Luka, man. You can they could certainly come back.
I don't know if we have Kyrie. He has 6 points.
It's Kyrie.
I got one last.
We're almost within 20 now. We're almost within 20 now.
Noah. Scotsman.
So this has been a thing on each episode of the East Bank Sports Show as well as the Fanatical Elfz. But I'm going to pick up my mic for a second, and I need to go in.
Yeah, here. Okay. Hello. Hi there.
There's a certain individual in the Cleveland athletic community that I still have a problem with. Mustard the hot dog.
Oh yes.
Has won 23 straight games, and I'm over it. Someone needs to test him, and I'm sick of it, and I'm over it, and I'm not going to go in super hard because I've been doing it all week. But this
how did the guards blow the game today? We're up 3-1. What happened?
They got no hit from the 4th inning to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Can't win if you don't hit the ball.
Are the Royals really going to be in contention? Is this going to be a two?
Yeah, Minnesota is Fugazi and
what do the Royals have this year? What do they have? Pitching?
They added Bobby Witt too.
Yeah, okay. Bobby Witt. They're good. They've been bad. That's usually how it goes in baseball. I mean, you stink and then you draft well and sign well, and you're good again.
Yeah, that's the Rangers went through. We were terrible 2 years ago, and then we won the World Series. So
exactly. It can happen in baseball.
See, but here, like Noah, you guys were talking about it too, like with the Gardens and then your other show, and you were one of your guys was talking about like the hitting and what they're doing with the team right now with the Guardians, like this is what virtually the same team as last year, right? And all of a sudden this year they're hitting the ball, and I have that same fear, like they're going to stop hitting at some point, and then not that they're going to fall flat on their face, but they have a nice cushion right now. But I think it's going to get a lot more. It's going to be a lot closer by the time.
See, the reason I'm not worried about that is because of how young the team is front to back. You have your ebbs and flows. I mean, you see that in any sport. The quarterback sophomore slump is my favorite example to point to for that. They had an off year. Tito retired.
Yeah.
Fantastic manager. We'll never say a bad thing about him, but obviously it seems Vogt got in here. Vogt's kind of doing his thing, getting these guys amped up in a different way. And we're playing fantastic baseball. We lose, we tie a series because one game gets rained out with the team right behind us in our division, and we're moving on, and we're still 40-21, I believe is our record right now, or 41-20.
40-21.
We're in June and we're still playing competitive baseball and hitting lights out. I would get it with the confusion and the nervousness and the whatever adjective you want to use there if it was the beginning of May, but we have shown a track record now, and baseball is a long game of being able to do what we've been doing in a long game.
Yeah,
that's just
and the Guards, they survived Quan's injury. He was leading the league in average. Naylor went into a slump. Josh Naylor went into the slump, and they won like 7 games in a row. And he's still scuffling. Ramirez, Jose, is just killing it. And then you got this guy that nobody even knows, Fry, who is just raking it right now. And then you got Tyler Freeman, who just seems to hit home runs all the time. So, I don't worry about their hitting. I worry a little about their starting pitching just a little bit. 100%. Yeah, Tristan still doesn't look quite, and you're trotting Lively out there and Logan Allen.
Lively hasn't looked bad for what it is. He's not fantastic. He's not Cy Young or anything, but he hasn't looked bad for the situation we're in right now. In terms,
but they can use another bat.
Oh, 100%.
They can use another bat. Bullpen's been. Woo.
See, now I can't catch down here in Columbus. It really sucks. I'm not paying for the extra Major League Baseball.
I'm not either.
No. How do you follow them?
I just, I listen to Cleveland Sports Talk Radio in the morning while I'm working. Dial it up on my computer. And I just listen. I read stuff.
Do you get
reading?
Do you get the
very
radio?
Underrated? A lot of people don't believe in reading things like articles. It comes in handy.
Well, I'm still pissed off because I paid my $29 for the radio audio thing on MLB, and I canceled it. But they said that the cancellation doesn't happen to the end of the season. But I'm not getting the game. So what the hell happened there? Like they're screwing me over.
Call customer service.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
All right, guys, have a great night. Hey, everybody, again, follow us here on the Fanatical Elves. We talked a little bit about the Indians or the Guards tonight, but we got Steve, we got Noah, we got Sam, and myself here, Johnny Cleveland. I'll be coming on with a show here shortly. Everybody have a great weekend. I know it's the summertime. I know you're getting out there, getting outside, getting some sun, getting some rays. That's awesome. If you download us on Apple or on Spotify or any of these other podcasting platforms, boom, you get new notifications every day. I get notifications of our show, and you won't miss a show. And folks, you're listening to us more, and you need this. If you can help us out a lot by just telling other people about this great group of wild and crazy guys here in the Fanatical Elves. We talk brown just like you. Sometimes we don't make sense like me, but a lot of times we do make sense. We have a variety of takes that are awesome. And so catch these shows. You got East Bank Sports Show. You got Sam's Browns Breakdowns. And Steve here with the Dog Pound South Campers show. So thank you for listening. Tune in tomorrow morning. Lou will have his next show for his Burning River Browns show. I think Rod Bloom, many of you listen to Rod Bloom. He'll have his show on tomorrow. Everybody have a great weekend. Go Brownies.
Go Mavs and
Go
Browns.
Browns.
Yes, go
Are the Mavs coming back?
down
They're
21
they're
at
doing
the half.
decent.
All right. Well, now I have a dead.
They're as down as the Cowboys were in the playoffs.
No one cares about the Cowboys.
We don't care. We're going to kill the Cowboys in week 1.
The Cowboys will
kill
kill
'em.
themselves in the playoffs. You guys don't have to worry.
They're going to make the playoffs.
They always seem to make the playoffs. That isn't.
That's a hot
a
take
winner
to go
now.
out on the show. And I'll rest my case.
See ya. Maybe.
Go Browns.
I don't know. The music's
Browns.
decided not to play. Oh, here we go. Bye.
Dun, dun, dun.